made you a promise, and I'm going to keep it. This is Helen Cassidy Page, the Smart Cookie. And I said that I would keep you informed on how I was doing on my attempt to monetize my channel. And so here I am. I have not forgotten. I am back. I took a break over the holidays to recover from the festivities. And this weekend, I spent most of my time sitting on my couch, knitting and watching football. It will be going away in a couple of weeks when the Super Bowl is played down in Santa Clara. I prefer to watch on the couch, even if I could afford the tickets, because I don't like anybody disrupting the commentators, because while I'm an avid football watcher, I'm afraid I need somebody explaining the plays to me. So here I am back on YouTube, catching up on how I think I can best get monetized. Now, I've explained in the past that I'm a writer, an editor, and a life coach. And in writing, they always say, write what you know. Well, I'm not going to be writing here on YouTube. But something I do know a lot about is how I manage at 86, heading towards 87, to keep myself afloat in an expensive city like San Francisco, living mostly on my Social Security and the income I get from my books and my coaching income, which really does not come close to my Social Security income. And so that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tell you the things I do to conserve money, to exploit the opportunities that avail me, to maximize my savings, and to minimize my expenses. Now, I have a very dear friend who has a channel, Do It Yourself Peg. I've known Peggy for, I don't know, 12, 13 years. We became friends when I was first writing on Kindle. And although I only recently met her in person for the first time, we have become friends over the internet. And it would seem in some ways that Peggy and I are odd ducks, that we don't seem to fit together, and yet she's one of those people that, even though I've never met her, as soon as we saw one another, it was like I had known her all my life. I love her dearly, although in so many ways we're very, very different. Now, Peggy is frugal, and that's what her channel is all about. How she makes her own laundry soap, how she cooks for one in very frugal ways. And that's not really me. I don't describe myself as a frugal person. And yet, maybe at heart I am, because although I think when she came to my apartment, she said that it looks as though I live differently from her, because I like to decorate in a very different way from her. Most of my stuff is from secondhand stores. It's been given to me by people who've passed away. I bought it secondhand from people that I love. And I bought many of my items from secondhand shops and had them reupholstered. And so while if you walk into my apartment, although I've lived here for a long time and things are a little down at the edges, it looks as though some of my items are very expensive, although in reality they're not. I have painted the walls, I've painted bookcases, and I have learned to cut corners and yet make the things that I love look very attractive. And in that way, I think Peggy, who is very outspoken about how she lives frugally, how she and I are very similar in some ways. Beyond that, we just have a connection. It's one of those things in life you can't really explain. And I've decided that I'm going to talk to you about how I do this, where I shop, how I live, and how I live very comfortably on my Social Security, what I do to earn extra money, because I think I'm a smart cookie. And that's what I'm going to talk about. I have gone on YouTube, and I see that there are many people who talk about shopping at places like Trader Joe's. Now, my local and nearest Trader Joe's is it's a mile round trip, and it's up a very high hill. Now, when I first started going to Trader Joe's, I've been living in my apartment for over 30 years. I didn't really pay attention to the distance. It was not a big deal to me. But now, these days, at my age, and because of some of the disabilities I have, it's very important that I do that walk because it's important for my health. And I have been told by my physicians that if I don't walk and stress myself physically in that way, I will suffer physically. So my walk every day to Trader Joe's, and I probably do it 5 times a week, is part of my keeping myself fit. And when I say fit, there was a time in my 50s, which is 30 years now, when I did a marathon. I am nowhere close to doing a marathon, but fit for me is relative. And when I can walk up to Trader Joe's, which is, if you know anything about San Francisco, you know we have a lot of hills. And so when I walk up the hill to Trader Joe's, that's a workout for me. And by doing that, I'm doing my cardiovascular system and my musculoskeletal system a big favor. But when I get there, I do my pocketbook a favor because I love Trader Joe's. Now, I also have something called, I think it's called a Fresh Pass, so that I can order things to be delivered to my home, to my door. They'd even put my delivery inside my apartment if I wanted, so that I don't have to carry things into my apartment, which would be hard for me if I'm ordering big gallons of milk, that kind of thing. And frankly, I like Trader Joe's better. I do order things from Safeway, but Trader Joe's is my shop of choice. I also have a Costco membership. Sometimes I shop there. So these are the places I go to save money for my groceries. Now, I live alone. I shop for myself, so I don't really need a lot, but I'm a cook. I've written cookbooks. I like food. I like to eat. So food is a priority for me. And if I can save money on food, that's a big deal for me. And I'm going to talk about how I shop at Trader Joe's, and I don't necessarily buy prepared meals, but I buy items at Trader Joe's because they have a wonderful array of items and put them together to make interesting meals. That's one of the things that I do to save money. Now, you may notice that I'm wearing a sweater that I've worn before, and I have a cowl here. These are handmade. I am a knitter. I love to knit. I have to knit every day. To me, it's like meditation. And I think studies have shown that knitting is connected to the neuroplasticity of the brain. It's very calming. People have taken knitting projects into prisons, and it has helped calm prisoners. They don't offer it to every prisoner, but certain prisoners are amenable to knitting, and they have found not only do they like it, but it's very important to accommodating their sentences and adapting to prison life. Children in lower grades who may have trouble sitting still have been taught to knit, and studies have shown they do very well in the classroom after they've taken up knitting. Now, I was taught to knit when I was 10 or 11 years old by my Aunt Nellie, who lived in Canada. My mother and I would go up to Canada to visit her. And one year, my Aunt Nellie taught me to knit. And I just took to it. But she didn't teach me how to make anything. She just taught me to knit and purl. So I would knit and purl, and then I'd rip it out, and I'd do it over again. And it wasn't until my daughter was 2 years old that I walked into a knit shop when we were out for an outing, and the owner, Mrs. Palmer, said, "Well, I'll show you how to make something." And I was off and running. And here, all these years later, I knit like a mad woman. I absolutely love it. But this yarn, for example, was given to me by the family of a dear friend after she passed on. And now I have a wonderful sweater. And when I wear it, it makes me think of my beloved friend. I mean, this is a little thing. This isn't something anybody else could do unless you're a knitter and you have the good fortune to have been bequeathed something treasured like a yarn that you can use to make something that reminds you of a friend. But I'm getting a little off the subject, but this is something that I do, that I use my interests and my talents to make things that I use and wear. And I don't go out and buy new clothes every season. I shop for my closet. I've been going through a purge, and I'm finding things that I'm giving another wear to because I'd sort of forgotten that I had them. And these are the things that I'm going to talk about. And I think people are very interested in, especially in these days when our economy is struggling and people are struggling, and they want ideas on not just how to live frugally, but how to live well. And I feel I live well. I don't have a lot of disposable income, but I have an imagination, and I think you do too. And I'm going to show you how I put mine to good use and how I use it, even at my age, to live well. So if that's of interest to you, give me a follow, and let's go on this YouTube journey together. Okay? See you next time.